John Thomas, and I'm speaking to you from the deck of my house in the beautiful Santa Cruz Mountains. In the distance is the beach town of Capitola, and on a clear day you can see the Monterey Bay. I'd like to express my belief that our country is in a transition between a long-term economic cycle driven by my generation, the baby boomers, and a new cycle reflecting the aging of the baby boomers. I will also address how the economic cycles relate to the investment markets. But first, a little of my background. I graduated from San Jose State in 1980 with degrees in finance and economics. My business is the Thomas Financial Group, LLC. My services include financial planning with an emphasis on portfolio management. My clients are both individuals and small business. I manage 2 in-house funds where investors can register as either an individual or as a retirement account. Since I am in my early 50s, I've experienced many investment cycles. Since last year's financial crisis, I've been studying the economy and markets in order to determine what this recession is all about. I believe we are entering a new long-term cycle, which I call the new economy. The key to be successful in the new economy will be cash and cash flow. But first, let me explain the old economy and how we got to our current recession. The old economy was characterized by increasing debt by both consumers and the U.S. economy. This resulted in a bubble economy, inflated by debt. In previous recessions, the pent-up demand for goods and services helped pull us out of the recession. But with so much debt in the economy, it is unlikely that consumer demand will grow anytime in the near future. Please refer to the graph entitled Average Household Spending by Age. As can be seen by the graph, household spending begins slightly before age 20. Household spending patterns grow and eventually peak between the ages of 46 to 50. At 50, children leave the home and households begin to downsize. After age 50, there's a downward trend to household spending. Most baby boomers are on the backside of age 50. The next large generation with growing spending patterns will not be seen until the early 2020s. The next graph is entitled Historical Interest Rates for 30-year Fixed Home Loans. As can be seen, interest rates since the early 80s have been on a long-term downward trend, resulting in the low rates we see in today's economy. At the turn of the millennium, we had low interest rates, loose lending standards, and the baby boom generation was at the peak of their household spending patterns. The result was a tremendous demand for housing, stocks, and commodities. The next graph vividly reflects 3 investment bubbles. The first bubble to burst was housing. As subprime loans converted to higher payments, defaults and foreclosures mounted. The foreclosures began to drive down home values. A few years prior, Wall Street had begun securitizing mortgage loans. In addition, they offered investors credit default swaps. This was meant to be a type of insurance against failing mortgages. The difference was that, unlike insurance, there was no cash reserve set aside. The failing mortgages began a ripple effect resulting in the failure of both banks and investment banks. Due to the size of the losses, the government needed to recapitalize the banks by purchasing the toxic assets. The banking problems led to a credit crunch. This affected both business and consumers. Sales dried up, and as can be seen by the graph, the stock market bubble burst and the economy began to tank. With growing foreclosures, bankruptcies, and unemployment, the demand for goods and services dried up. Then the commodity price bubble burst.